Welcome, everybody, to Hang Out in the Crib. It's Wednesday night. We just finished up with Bounty, which we're going to talk about later in this show. And, we're not going to talk about Bounty right now. I know I'll be opening up the floodgates if I ask out everybody how it went. So at this point, I'll just introduce from left to right on your viewing screen, Father George.
Good evening, everybody.
Senior Daniel.
Hello, everyone.
And this is Hefe. Rum Runner is going to join us in approximately 20 minutes. We're going to start off talking about the TFCs, the TLCs, the boring stuff first, just because we don't know how long the conversation associated with the bounty may go. Yeah, Father George is under the weather. So, put up with him as you choose, and you can talk about how bad he sounds on the chat. Feel free to do that.
Yeah, it won't bother me at all. I mean, I sound probably about 100 times better than I did 2 days ago. So,
okay, and let me get everything back up. So, let me launch the slides so we don't
release the Quacken.
Yeah, so we don't start talking about other stuff. I'm going to share my screen and get started. Actually, no. Okay. Alrighty. Let's go. The first thing is going to be bug fixes and tuning. And it almost looks like our former CM has started rewriting some of this stuff. Fixed an issue where images were not appearing in NPC-based combat. Anybody know what that means? Was that related to the it's the Uranium target? I mean, I don't even know what that's about. Does anybody? That first one?
I'm assuming that things just weren't rendering when you went in and hit NPC bases. Where's the bugs? I mean, even I used bugs in my article today. I mean, you have no bug on here.
Well, because I didn't want to go to 2 slides with it. They had enough of that.
Okay.
Well, last week I had the girl smashing the computer with a hammer. She was hammering out the bugs, but
I like WW bugs.
Yes. Well, I mean, how many of those? I think they've run out of those where they're actually fixing it. So I've already put up the internet has run out as far as that goes. Fixed an issue where the Forsaken mission wasn't recognizing which item a player already had. I know that's been an on and off issue for it's at least people complaining on the forums for about 3 months. And fixed an issue where users were not able to build a Hellstar. I'm not even sure how they figured that out because I'm not sure who's building a Hellstar at this point.
No kidding.
That's their problem. Kixeye was probably doing you a favor by not let you build it. Fixed an issue where ship storage was displayed incorrectly for some users. We did get some complaints on the Friday show that all their ships in storage were gone for certain people. So, and fixed an issue where users couldn't engage in NPC campaign combat. Again, I'm not sure if that's specific to a particular campaign or what's going on there. So, anybody else have any more insight than I do? Okay.
Not particularly.
Okay. Skyfire TLC. The good thing I think they did was move. Well, one good thing I think they did is they moved the basic technology for the Skyfire down to price pack 1.
Yep.
And made it all available at that point. I wish they'd moved the UAV targeting circuitry down to price pack 2, and potentially, I think price pack 3, people that have the ability to go for it would have gone for it with just the 10 days of build tokens.
Absolutely.
So, and just make that technology more available, because prize pack 3 is much more difficult than the first two prize packs. It's set for, Daniel's run through it all today and said it's much easier than it was previously.
Yes.
But the same maps and the same weapons, just they took the damage level from the cold snaps and whatnot from 11 down to 8.5.
Yeah, it wasn't killing my whole fleet on the level 6. So the damage is a lot less. I was taking I took like 25% of my health compared to it was like 75% the last time.
Okay. Well, still might be difficult for people that don't have either the driving skills and or the
charged armors.
Charged armors, yeah, or the D85Ds, or whatever else that. And as we'll see as we go through here, this is another garrison style target, as is called Arms Icebreaker, as will the next one, which will be called Arms Monolith, which they've given us 3 garrison style targets, so we're using the same ships on all 3, which I'm not a huge fan of. For most people, this has been available for a long time and run through multiple times, but it still has price pack. Wait.
You're missing charged armors on price pack
2. Yeah, that's what I was. You double check that, because I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if I got double check that, because that's what I was going to bring up. This might be an older one. I'm not sure, but I don't want to have a.
Well, no, you're missing prize pack 4, which has the 2 charged armors.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's the problem. Somehow that one's disappeared. But so there is the people that already have the Icebreaker, and it's also Visaga's Icebreaker at prize pack 4, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. This image is dropped off the screen, but the good thing about it is even if you have everything and you have 72 days of Icebreaker build tokens, you probably could still, if you finish the whole thing through prize pack 4, you'll get 4 X charged armors, which eventually could be of use.
Wait, it says M.
Yeah, there's no charged X in this one. Hold on a second.
Wait, why is it? What? I'm just confused.
Prize pack 3 is 1 charged M, and prize pack 4 is 2 charged M.
Okay. Yeah. Then why do I have Icebreakers? And I don't know. I need
you got the last. This is for last month.
Oh,
okay. They changed the last. Okay. Well, it's actually much better for us then. I just glanced through it and sorry about that. This one I did all new.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, to get the M's at this point as opposed to the X's, because the M's are still useful for your Phoenixes or your Skyfire.
What are we going to need for the next raid series? Do you guys remember?
Concussive and explosive.
Concussive and explosive. That might be why they changed it. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, because next raid cycle, those X's would have come in handy. But yeah, they have been switched to M's. Called Arms Monolith. I don't recall before. I don't think we got all the tech at prize pack 1. I think it was spread out. And if you need it, I mean, I didn't pay too much attention to this because I know a lot of people have, 20 days of monolith tokens, but I guess people starting off earlier and don't have this stuff, it could be of use. I guess the thing to discuss is price pack 3. You do get 1 day monolith build token times 5, so that might be helpful for people. But at this point in time, there's no real point, at least in my mind, in building the Gridirons monolith. You're better off using lower levels technology and
Hell
creating
yes.
a Zealous tank.
Hell yes.
I mean, so the only real use in this price pack 3 would be 5 days of monolith build tokens.
Yeah.
The rest of it's much better taken care of with the Zealous. So if you have a hard time doing it, skip it. You're not missing out on anything great. And just take the Zealous out of tier 2 of, I think it's tier 2 of the FM.
Yep.
Let's see.
And folks, you really don't need the tridents if you can figure out how to drive them. It might take a little bit of practice and you might get frustrated the first couple of times, but it can be done without tridents to do the 113 if you have the right build. And if anybody needs, just let us know. I'll probably sit and make I have a video of showing how to actually drive for that turret, the turrets on the left. I just haven't gotten around to getting it up yet. Put it up on YouTube, but
yeah, I reintroduced the Courage again, just because everybody's probably won them at this point. We haven't really seen the, at least personally, I haven't seen the launcher in action, the new launcher, which we'll talk about in a minute. But with the Polonium Accelerator, right, you're able to actually use the slingers or / throwers. You actually have greater range with those, and with some experience with them, they appear to be a very nice weapon against most of the conquer hulls that you'll see in your base. So that 116 is the furthest damage that we've furthest range that we have ever seen on one of our ships at this point.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and as far as defenses, we do have explosive deflection plates. That's one of the big weaknesses besides ballistic of this hull. And we have ballistic. No, we don't have ballistic. Do we have ballistic at this point?
Not
no, we don't have
worth
ballistic.
anything.
Yeah, we have the old ballistic.
Yeah, that's it.
But I was just gonna say you have walls for that.
Yeah, so the with the launcher at 112.8, is that the other than with the throwers on the Courage, is that the longest range we got, or how long is the throwers on the Rage?
The Rage is it's I think it's 108. I think even the launchers would outdo them.
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I think this actually has the longest range for everything. I think. Well, for radioactive crap, but
yeah, because even you can use the because I haven't paid that much attention to my Rage at this point. I've just sort of been blank building. But this has the ability to have 20% range added, radioactive range, and then you put the Polonium Accelerator, and you'll add 12% thrower range. And that's how you're able to get this out to 116.2. Yeah. And it looks like a beast. I mean, besides those two things, and it has the death weapon.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad it don't move, but on the other hand, how are you going to rank this thing? You know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess there was a method to their madness. I guess they don't want us to at this point in time because, we were able to generate tokens through R&D if you had a mega ship.
Well, if you have a Conqueror or Justice, but this isn't either of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Okay. Okay, that was the point I was going to make. Yeah, the Conquerors are generic, but as far as the Defender, it only applies to the Justice Hall. Yeah. So I'm not sure what their thought process was there, but at the point that was introduced, they definitely knew that the Courage was on the way.
Maybe they'll introduce some tokens in later on for the Courage.
I mean, they could always make the Justice one a generic Defender one, right?
Yeah, that would be easier.
I would think.
Yeah, or they want to up the price on it. make it a 6-hour research. I don't know.
I could live with that. If
I
it was
don't
a
know.
generic one, I could live with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they did that, but they definitely had to have a reason why they chose to take care of it that way. Because like I'm saying, they knew the courage was on the way when they released that. And you have 4 weapon slots, so I think you can get, what is it, about 10,000 your explosive deflection up to. So, which, I think you can load up the sloth and still overcome the deflection, but it's definitely worth having. And I think a lot of people ended up having it at the end of the day. Well, not a huge, probably, I don't know, because I was able to get it. But I had points left over. But I would say 4,000. I don't know. My guessing would be somewhere around 4,000 people were probably, well, maybe not, because some people could have made the decision to get the turret and the special because they are so overwhelmed with ship builds and plan to be with the end of this current raid cycle and the beginning of a new one. Because this is a 7-day build as a bear haul. So some people might have made the decision that I don't want to build another ship. So they might have gone the other way as far as base defense went. So it's hard to tell how many people actually own them. The insurrection. We got anything to say about this? It could be with the ratio of building damage to straight damage and wall damage. It seems like it could have a role as a prep haul to prep out fleets, but
But on what, like
on a raid or something with radioactive or a people were using the retribution.
Yeah, given how little building and wall damage, yeah, this thing is screaming for a prep
Fleet prep, yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody. It's intended to be paired with the courage. We'll have to see it in action, I think, to really see how this works. And we have somebody mentioning the spite because of some people have a lot of. I haven't looked into that, but a lot of people have just a ton of ship build tokens just sitting around, willing to experiment with. So people may find that with if you have 20 days worth of ship build tokens, you might, or I don't even know if there's 6-day ones, so maybe they have 45 days and find some interesting things to do with this in the future.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it in action so far.
Did you make any slides for the Megahaul campaign?
No.
Okay, I just want to mention to people if they are looking at that Megahaul campaign. Rumor has it the very, very first one you can get through with just the cannon. I just did number 1, prize pack 1 and 2, and I actually ended up finishing prize pack 1 before I actually could join, so I didn't see how hard it was. But prize pack 2, if you have a rocket or a rocket and a cannon, you're probably going to be able to get through the whole thing with proper placement on your Megahaul.
Okay.
It was way different than the last time that they've run it. So if you're interested in that, absolutely try it.
Okay. For the people that actually have a rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not in that boat.
Well, a couple cannons, a mortar or 2. The mortars, because the way they stack the.
Well, I don't even know where do I even get the mortars.
You get them when you get your Megahaul.
Yeah.
Mortars. Really? Okay. Yeah, I have the cannons.
Yeah, you have
the
probably have the mortars too. I don't know if you have to. Do you have to research it, or I don't know? But the way that they have the Apollos stacked and the way that they turn, God, I wish I wish I had actually recorded it so I could actually do a walkthrough. Oh well. But yeah, it looks like the first two prize packs are very, very doable. So they've tweaked it a little bit so people can start getting some stuff again, which is good. I like that idea.
Okay. Hey, Kevin. Or hey, Rob.
Hey, Jeff.
Kev.
George.
How you
Hello,
doing,
everybody.
man?
Hi, Ram.
Daniel.
And yeah, this is the fission fuel node. We talked a little bit about this late in the Friday show. This is against atomic targeting or focus, which is another special that was easier to get. And there's a slight bonus to it. Huge weight gain to get that marginal bonus, but you know, I guess it's worth it if it's the right build.
And as it ranks up, as you go up the retrofit lab, it actually the difference will be even larger once it gets up.
Yeah, because you start with a larger base number and then you have the percentage increase. Yeah, you're correct. The Axiom chain gun seems going to be doing fairly well if properly equipped. With everything as far as properly placed and properly equipped, because we have to assume this is a dumbfire weapon, and
yeah, it absolutely is a dumbfire weapon, but it is wow.
But this is also retrofittable as well.
Yeah.
So the one we faced this past weekend, are we going to get the same one, or is that tuned for the target?
What do you mean?
Well, if you hit the bandit bases, the 95s, they appear to have the Axiom chain gun inside of them because they were tearing through.
Yes. No, they were the Axiom.
Well, but my question is, everybody talks about, accuracy, blah, blah, blah. It didn't make any difference. I was moving at a high rate of speed with the Rage and got nailed.
Okay.
Well, we don't know what retrofit level they were and what was equipped on them either. They're NPC. They could probably have a whole lot of, like, say, splash that we couldn't get on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Well, below is the concussive belt, which increases. I forgot to push animate on this.
Yeah.
What?
Do I get bounty for hitting her?
Potentially. You're gonna have to let us know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ron?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Could somebody give you the numbers? I forgot to. I don't want to have to exit screen sharing. Well, actually, let me go.
I think it was 25. Hold on, 25.
Let me go through that and.
I can tell you in a second. Hold on a second.
Redo this slide. Real quickly.
The concussive belt is 25% splash and 40% concussive reload for 14% weapon power.
Okay.
I like her belt better.
Okay. Let's see. Now I'm back up and screen share. Okay, got that fixed. And, alrighty.
Yeah, I hope I get bounty. I'll try hitting her for bounty. Shit.
Okay. And yeah, 40% reload, 25% splash, only 14% weapon power consumed. And you can, I think people had the question that hadn't claimed it yet. You still have 2 days to claim your bounty prizes, because I was on the fence on this as well. You can fit this with the concussive special that gives you 60% and eruption pyre. You can't fit it with anything else that adds projectile speed. It ends up being too heavy. And there appears to be a graphical glitch because the concussive reload does not show up here, but it should probably just be a graphical error. And if you had the choice, I would probably take the, for some reason you don't have it, the concussive, what is it? Concussive, what is it? CC, concussive compressed can't, or no, that's a different one. But this adds
expanded concussive charge.
ECC, expanded concussive charge, adds the 60% concussive damage, which I would find to be more useful than the concussive belt if you couldn't use both for some reason. You know, if you didn't have the points for it, because, or I don't know what the other reason. Maybe I don't know what people are using priority targeting, or I don't know what they would be doing.
How would that do on your portal?
As far as completely stripped down, with as far as it deals with
You can have one special.
You can't have any specials.
Yeah, on your portal, if you've got a level 2, you can have one special.
You can have a tactical. What do they call them? Tactical. The red ones, not the regular special. Like what you get on your tactical. I'm screen sharing. Can somebody look in the game? The big red hex. Not this regular special, like splash dispersion, EMP blast. You can put those on there, but you can't put on, you know, these 3 specials that I'm showing you here. Even at level 2, because level 2 adds. Somebody could look in their base. It adds 1 armor slot. Yeah, you could add fire support 2 as another example. But you couldn't add one of these specials. But in a dream world, or in a world where you could, I would probably add the concussive damage special, because of the ability to do damage over deflection, as opposed to the reload. So, alrighty. But yeah, all this stuff will fit.
Yeah, I have a very interesting build already ready for this.
Okay.
I think only uses one thing on that thing that you showed, on that example.
Okay.
Actually, it might not use any of them. Let me go look. Let me double check. I have like 3 of them saved when I came up with this.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, hopefully Rum's coming back soon.
Did he leave? Oh yeah.
Okay, wait. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Kevin, but he's saying that you can. But it was with the Thunderbolt. Okay, what they were telling us earlier is that you couldn't. But I guess the people that have already gone through the 24 days know better. Okay. Yeah, that's not what it's described in the game. Okay, I'm just reading the chat, and it says Cody says he has depleted uranium shells 3 with blunderbuss. So it's not what's written in the on the blueprint, which is not surprising. So, all right. I guess everybody knows what we're talking about next. This is time for our review of the bounty. All right. I just sort of outlined the issues that we saw with the bounty. The first one I listed was the secured bounty mechanism, in which if you met daily goals, it converted your unsecured bounty into secured bounty, which is all well and good. But the player matching mechanism only relied on secured bounty, not total bounty, which made the ability for higher bounty owning players in total to really go and hit down incredibly, you know, because even if somebody that just started the game had 500, if they secured their bounty, they're down to 0.
Well, if they didn't go over the...
Yeah. But they have the ability to go down to zeros.
Yeah, if they timed it right, yeah.
Yeah.
But, and the thing is, you can only hit them once then, and then after that, unless you waited around 3 hours, you could hit them 5 times in a row, but each time it'd be less and less. We wouldn't be able to hit 5. Anyway, yeah, it was weird, and the thing that annoyed me with this is that, we asked directly.
Yeah.
I mean, we asked directly on the live show. I know I did at least 4 times. I think you did at least twice. And not one time did they answer.
Yeah, because I'm assuming I think they assumed that we wouldn't like the answer.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I was thinking about it when I was writing the article, and I was like, it might have been like the fishbowl dilemma. When you're that close to something, it might be something that's just really obvious to you, right? And they might have thought, because we like to have fun with them sometimes. They might have thought we were just trying to troll them on the live show, and just kind of ignored the question. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But that was a big thing that really should have been. Well, there's a lot of things that should have been addressed, but that was the biggest one that I think that they should have spent some time on. It might have seemed logical to them because of the way that they balanced it overall, and it makes sense when you look at it. But that's a huge issue to the community because we're not the ones coding it. We don't see the whole thing,
Yeah, and I mean and I guess the way it would have been tested, I don't know what the assumptions went into that. I mean, the second bullet point is the way they determine the economy, because basically, besides the bandit bases, there was two different ways that bounty got introduced. One, the 500 that players got at the beginning, and the second way was through bounty generation at the outpost. And they wanted us to be hitting each other like, just rabid dogs fighting each other. And when that happens is, you weren't able to generate bounty if you were in damage protection. And everybody that was getting hit, okay, they were getting a short bubble. And then if they were, in theory, supposed to go back and hit the other person, at that point, the way things were put together, there was no real additional bounty generation besides that 500. And that was probably the way they intended. I mean, people had to work around with the dead bases and like, oh, I'm not going to go back on the game until, I'm just going to generate bounty with my dead base after my, just that, the whole thing. I was just at a loss how they ever thought, we were going to get to those point levels, where they thought the bounty was going to even come from. I mean, because basically all we had was 500 per player that was going to get split up in some way.
Right.
It was baffling to me.
Well, I think the way that they had the thing structured in terms of prizes and stuff is that and I think they said during the live show they were expecting about the top 10% to get all the prizes, right? And
yeah, but
the thing is that would the presumption with that and the way that it was set up, especially when they set the prices before the event even started, they had a number in mind of how many people were going to participate, and we didn't come close to it. Because without that many people in the bounty, you don't have enough bounty to generate the points to be able to get the top 10% to those numbers.
But even I mean, if you think about it, I mean, even with this hit, I mean, maybe with the secured versus unsecured, they could start hitting back down. But until they started making changes, nobody was going to get the top prize.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of that also had to do with the locator and stuff. I mean, I hit, I don't know how many bases. Like, I'm still getting tickets answered. I ended up with, I think, like 14. What was it? 14,500 at the end, and that was before they started giving me points for like the videos where I would show like, hey, this guy says 1,000 bounty, and I hit him and I got nothing. I mean, that was horrible.
Yeah, and then the loss of like on the next thing that players were losing 20 bounty for hitting the dead bases that were all over the place. And the fact that it was a negative sum game, meaning that bounty was getting generated, and as opposed to encouraging us, because zero sum game means like whatever somebody gains, somebody loses, and so the economy would stay equal, and across the entirety of things, and they made it so players were. This instance with the dead bases, they were losing 20, but if you failed on a base, you were losing even a larger number, which wasn't going to the defender. It was just lost to the economy. I think to encourage what they wanted in this, they needed to make it a positive that the attacker was either or something else to change the economy of this, or make it so the attacker was actually gaining more to encourage the behavior they wanted. The attacker was actually gaining more than the defender was losing on a successful hit. Because otherwise, the economy was, it's just really busted.
Also, if it would actually incentivize people for coining their bases and everything, if you would actually gain for a win on a defense.
Yeah, but that's so easily exploitable, man. So easily exploitable. That's probably one of the easiest things to exploit in this system is if you got the bounty from hits.
I don't see it, but yeah, I mean that would be my opinion.
It's simple. Look, I run up. I'm the big coiner in the alliance, right? I run up my bounty like a crazy ass number. I throw out about 20 gunboats and just keep on dying in every single base that I go and hit, and I spread the wealth, and then I go back and I start farming everybody else again. It's so easy to exploit that. It's not even funny.
Oh.
That's just so simple. I can totally understand why they did not put that in the game, because it's as easy as dumping metals. I mean, that's
okay.
Although Hefe, I don't see on this list my prides. I mean, I was hitting with prides all weekend, and the prides lost their prideful ability. That was a huge issue for me. Did he walk off to get something to drink?
I have no idea.
Unreal. Where were we? Lost a 20 for hitting a dead base. That was annoying as hell. The bounty award uncertainty. You would click on a base. Hey, this guy's worth 1,000 bounty. You go and hit him, and you got 0. Zilch, zip, and a dead fleet. Thanks very much.
But rarely did it work the other way. Rarely did you get more than what they said.
I don't think I ever got more than they said. Ever. Right. Not once. But that was really, like, because I sent in one ticket, and they were like essentially like, oh, we need a video, da da da. I sent in another ticket, and I had, I think, 4 hits, 4 different hits, 4 different bases, totaling, I think it was something like 4,000 points or something. It was a shit ton of points that I lost, and I sent in the ticket, and I got points, but at that point I didn't need them because I already had enough to get everything.
Yeah.
So it was pointless. I rather would have gotten some gold to take care of my repairs, but that didn't happen. The bubble issue. Now, see this one, the shortened bubbles, burning bases, flat bases. That exploit, while it came in handy, yes, I took advantage of it several times. That's got to get looked at. I mean, how many did you guys? How often did you come across dead bases, guys?
Oh, 90% dead bases. 90% at least.
I stopped hitting after the first day. Like after I wasn't getting any points for hitting, for winning, and I would lose. And I would lose whenever I would lose more points. I was like, I'm not gonna hit anymore until they fix this.
So, how did you get all those points? Because you came in second right after me.
I went and started doing the bandit bases.
Oh my god! Seriously, you PvE'd a PvP event?
Yeah.
Do
you blame him?
Well,
I mean, yes and no. I don't know. Like I had a problem with the bandit bases. Like I can understand them, and they came in handy a couple of times, but I'm really torn about that. Like I think I put a whole section. Like I made a little section for the bandit bases in the article today. I'm very torn because I don't understand. Like I'm not sure that I want a PvE target in a PvP competition.
I don't. But it was it was handy for this one because it was so screwed up. Now if they learn,
it did, and it helps when you're trying to get to like one of the checkpoints, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's good to have them as an option, but the thing is, I don't want them to be there and be able to be exploited to the point where, like, Daniel got 14,000, bounty on just hitting bandit occupied bases. That's kind of ridiculous.
Also, a lot of people didn't hit me after the second day because they couldn't get into my base. So after that second day, everybody just left me alone mostly.
And also, there was a secondary thing where people were afraid of the dead bases.
Yeah, no one was really hitting a lot of bases. So I was just there generating all day long.
I think that the dead bases is an issue that has to be addressed because if it comes up again next time, I'll just walk away and not play.
Well, I mean, I think Ren came up with a decent idea that if you hit a base and you're, either under a bubble or your base is flat, right? If you're going to hit a base, it's going to tell you got to start repairing your base first, or have it automatically start repairing when you hit a base. Now, the catch with that is if you want to go on a tear against like 4 or 5 bases, you're also going to be getting hit 4 or 5 times if people find you on the locator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I mean, that's the balancing act. The balancing act for PvP is very difficult, and they're finding that out from trying this event.
Yeah. And tell me if I'm wrong, but if you had started the first hour of the bounty, well, when it eventually started, if you started on the first day of the bounty and logged in when it was over, wouldn't you have accumulated enough to get the ship, the weapon, and you would have ended up with about 16,000?
If you maxed out your OP, it was 4,114 a day.
Yeah, so you ended up with over 16,000.
Yep. For
just starting it up and walking away and not going and playing Farmville 3, right? And
the thing is if someone came and hit your base and you were flat, you'd get a bubble, so you'd lose 3 hours worth.
Okay, so let's say you get 14,000.
Yeah, I mean you'd still get a ton. I mean, if you were getting a bubble every the bubble lasts for 4 hours.
Okay, if people kept on hitting the dead base.
Right. Yeah, if people kept on hitting the dead base, because that was happening the first day until people started figuring it out. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, potentially, yeah. If you were squirreled away somewhere. Now, the other thing that I don't know is if you logged in, and got hit, you lost the first 125, so you're at 375, right? After the first hit, you get flat and you leave it alone. As you start accumulating, I don't know that it registered the accumulated total until you log back in. So you might have never gotten hit again, unless someone was under 375 and saw your base.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I didn't test that mechanic. I didn't think to test that mechanic, actually.
Yeah, it was just weird. I mean, it just seems like it was so open for exploits that it was like, I'm not sure what I brought up, but like I said, tell me if I'm wrong in this, but it sounds like, yeah, there would be issues with that strategy.
I mean, the thing is it's PvP, and it's such a complex thing that, one, yeah, we expected bugs, but two, trying to program an event like this and be able to cover all of the things that you could exploit, that's tough. Like, I don't know that they're actually going to be able to 100% do it. There's going to be something somewhere that you can exploit. I don't think you can honestly 100% close up PvP like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to have to do what they ended up doing, and doing a mix of PvE and PvP to keep everybody happy and close up some of the loops to allow stuff to get introduced into the economy of the game.
Yep.
I mean, I just don't. I don't know.
Unfortunately, it's true. I think that's the only option. The catch is too, though, is that if they start doing this as a monthly event, it's going to be a second raid, and it's if they want to do a PvP event, that's great, and I would I would encourage it if it were just offensive PvP tech. But the minute you start throwing in defensive stuff, it's a different animal, because now you're talking about items that a passive player would want to use, because you have to defend your base, right?
Yeah.
That has implications on your PvE game. Whereas if it was just like, like say they had come out with this and they hadn't released the Reyna in the raid, but was available in this, and that was the only big prize, was the Reyna and a couple of other things that weren't defensive in nature, were just all offensive, right? A new thrower or something, right? That's cool, because if you don't want to hit bases, then you're probably not going to be all that interested in it. But if it's a defensive hull like we just got, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to a little bit of that in the next slide. What some suggestions for the next one. Did you? I had to step away for a second. Did you get into your pride issue?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you did?
No, we didn't get into that. No.
Okay.
We forgot about that.
Okay. The issue, not George's pride issue, but the issue with the prides once they were losing their pride pool.
Yeah, that annoys the shit. That annoyed the hell out of me.
And the issue with the dead portals.
That was another one that was interesting. Yeah, if you had it was fully built and got damaged, you were screwed getting in. We didn't cover the dock and structure repair token, and of all the things that happened this weekend, I think that's the only thing that I really honestly think was like kind of an underhanded thing.
The structure repair token thing, that was weird, because they actually made them available for you to just keep on clicking on. I mean, I'm not sure that I don't know, was that intended? Because if it was intended, they wouldn't have made it an option, because that was just upsetting the players even more.
Well, here's the thing. I sent in a ticket probably in, I think it was within half an hour of entering, because I got flattened right away. And the answer that I got back was that the developers were aware of it, and they fixed the issue, and players will now be able to start or stop or speed up their repairs accordingly. Unfortunately, that was wrong, because tickets after that were saying that it was intended. And from everything that I've seen from some of the tickets flat out said that it was intended. So I'm presuming that they intended it and wanted it as a revenue generator for us to repair the docks. I haven't seen anything to say otherwise from Kixeye, and honestly, that would be like one of the top things I would want to address if I were them, because holy crap, that's just, that was dirty. You're doing a PvP event, and you're not letting me use structure repair tokens to repair my dock so I can go out and continue hitting. That was kind of dirty. I'm sorry. That's the only thing in the entire thing that I could not see a flip side on from their perspective. That's the only thing.
Well, I mean, I know certain people like the whole hitting bases that were almost decimated, but I didn't like that part of the shortened bubbles. Also, really upset me. Because it's not, you don't set up your base to be, not have a guard fleet in it and be, 70% dead and defend against rages. I mean, it's really, I think a lot of people would find that whole thing disheartening and not want to play, especially if you're somebody that spends time trying to defend your base, as far as, build time, going out and getting base parts, or, to build turrets and walls and, do everything else that you would do to defend your base, and expect your base to be able to survive when it's, it wasn't designed to be hit every 4 hours. It was designed to be hit every 36 hours.
Right.
And so, giving us a ninth of the repair time. And I think there was a lot of, especially the OCD crew, were probably really upset by this.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was, I thought it was silly, and I'm not gonna, even if I was gonna, spend coin on something, I wouldn't spend coin on that. That's not what I would spend coin on, is to repair my base back. And I don't know. And that part needs to be looked at. I mean, I understand the short bubbles, even though part of it is people would have to be, you can't sleep in order to like start repairing your base or anything like that. I'm not sure exactly how to run the bounty correctly. I think it still needs a lot of testing with the way it's currently constructed at this point.
Yeah, like I said, PvP is such a complex thing that first off, they might want to set it up to where they want us to play a certain way, but then schmucks like me are like, hey, you could do this. Whoops. It's really such a complex thing that, like I said, it's going to be hard for them to bound it in. I love the concept. I wish they could figure out a way to make it work, because that would be phenomenal. I just don't know that. Yeah, I just don't know how to actually get it to do it.
Yeah.
And look, it was the first one too, right? I'm sure that they've learned a whole ton of stuff off of it. It's just whether or not they've learned how to actually pull it off, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last minute correction, what they brought out on Monday, where everybody that was previously participating got 2350 in bounty, and then there was this the reduction of the axiom to from 1450 down to 1 bounty, and then the reduction of the courage by 60%. It had to be done, but I don't know that. My hope was that they would notice before Monday, and that some more people could join the game. And I don't know. It was, it felt too late in the game, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah,
and especially that I think other people were like, okay, well, it was really hard to tell that the 2350 was only applying to players that were already in it. And I'm not sure that brought, a lot of people jumped in thinking that, because it was hard to determine that. But it was, I don't know. I just wish it had been taken care of earlier. And maybe the next time they do bounty, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But one thing, maybe not make it start late in the week. Maybe make it start on a Monday or something, where Kixeye can actually be active and managing
that's
the
probably
event.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing that they did, was just ignore the whole thing over the weekend. I can't fathom why they did that. I don't know why we didn't hear a single thing. Nothing. Because had they, I think what you're saying is that if they had actually addressed it earlier, right, it would have been able to self-heal as players came in and started participating. Unfortunately, they didn't do anything until Monday, which was what, 24 hours before the thing ended or something, right?
Yeah, it was I think it was less than 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's all of a sudden it's like,
Because
well, we're going to change the pricing of this, and we're going to start giving out points for that. And I think I ended up, if I add in the points that they gave me after when they finally started answering the tickets, I ended up at like 19,000 something for points. That's excessive. And why couldn't that have been done like on Friday or Saturday, right? If they had addressed the issue of like the display, or if they addressed the issues of not getting the bounty. All that stuff could have been managed live during the event with rolling fixes.
Yeah.
And it probably would have gotten better as the time went on, and people would have naturally wanted to join in, right? I'm not sure of how wise it was to make the turret available to everybody. That was a little bit crazy.
Yeah, because you had to make quite the step up to get anything else of use. You had to get all the way up to 1450 because probably a lot of the people that were already playing probably had everything at 750 besides the 12-hour building token or 12-hour ship build token. And you can only get one of those. So if you start off at 500, you had to make significant headway to get to 1450 to get, the special, the concussive belt or something else.
And if you had been playing before, you would have gotten, what was it, 2,300 points?
2,350, yeah. So, and if it had been consistent the whole way, once they realized the economy was broken, if they introduced the bounty, or the bandit bases earlier, then you might have got greater participation. And I don't understand maybe with the raid, I don't know. I'm not sure why, the starting late in the week and having it run over the weekend, starting on a Friday and then ending on a Monday where most of it's unsupervised is a good thing. I guess it lets more people participate because in, a lot of Western countries you get Saturday and Sunday off.
Right. And I can understand wanting it on the weekend because that's when you can have higher participation. But look, here's the thing: if you're going to do this and it's the very first one, and we all know that there's going to be bugs, right? You got to have someone there. You got to have someone there to be able to address the community, address some concerns, something. You don't launch it and then ignore everybody. That's unconscionable. That is something that hurts the relationship that you have with the community every single time. Regardless of your intentions, the result is a bad thing when you do that to the community in any game. I don't care what game it is.
Yeah, I was thinking, and I forgot to add in one more, is to have an opt-out button. But the next time they do this,
that's
no. But if you look at the slide, I'm not offering a lot of stuff in this. But in order to iron out some of the most egregious bugs, like you hitting something and you're not getting your bounty, all that stuff, and also to reduce the trust deficit with the player base. If they can run a bounty, it only runs 24 hours. All you can get is tokens and skins, and show the player base that, okay, we've been thinking about this, and this is the improvement that we've made, so that next time they do a real bounty, moving forward, that the player base trusts them again and is not, trust that it's going to work at least somewhat before they start putting things out there that really matter. And the 24 hours is just so people aren't, getting constantly leveled for 4 days straight.
No, I love the test run idea. Honest to God, they probably should have done that first, and they should have done it with tokens and skins. And man, usually you're better with the pictures. Like, is the picture tie-in just the skins? Is that what it is?
Oh no, she's looking at a pregnancy test. Yeah, I was trying to find something. Every time
That's a horrible test run analogy.
Yeah. Well, positive or negative, we're gonna see how it works out.
You're so much better than that. I expected a better time than that. Come on. Golly. That's a pregnancy test. Okay.
Yeah, if you're gonna find some hot girl wear a little Bippy shirt that says "Test me" across it, you take that picture, send it to me. I would much rather put that up. There just wasn't out there. The internet is not endless, despite what people say. Like you know.
All right.
Well, we're getting comments though.
Look, everybody that's listening, there is a challenge for you. Find me a hot girl in a t-shirt that says "Test me" and send it to Mia Hefe so we can put it on the show.
Yep.
Because he needs some help tying these things in now, because that's the quality's going down there, buddy. You usually have a good, or at least a really funny way to tie it in. That one was just
Yeah, well, we won't. Well, it's more difficult when we actually get these things the day of. If I have that day to understand the whole content, and then I could spend the second day tying it into the pictures, it's when they release it the same day. The pictures suffer. And I do admit that, but they need to give me more time. But yeah, I didn't know what else to do with that one. Yeah, Ford thought she was rolling a joint, which is I'm not sure how. That could work as well. So it's
she was rolling a joint. Oh my god.
Well, it's possible. It's a little fuzzy. I'm not sure.
Maybe he's a little fuzzy. I don't know.
Yeah, the next slides deal with channel defense, and there was the point that I think why it seems like I'm. Let me share this. While I think from what I'm seeing, I haven't been able to get back into the game because I've been screen sharing the whole time, but what Ron was talking about earlier, as far as, and also there's people that were agreeing with him in the chat that you can add specials in to the portal. Oh, this is level 1, but mine left. Yeah, what they gave us is wrong, because at portal level 1, you don't have this down here. This is not available. And then when I go to upgrade in the game, at least the last time I looked, you weren't able to add specials. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Tactical installation slot. So yeah, I'm a little bit confused. And it takes a little over 24 days to go from level 1 to level 2.
Yeah. But yeah. you could use base parts to get it down to 10 days. And then you could use your day tokens for Forsaken missions, from your Forsaken missions, and get that down to a decent build time.
Yeah. And Cody was saying that he's got the blunderbusses with the I think it was with the critical chance ones in his base. So I'd like to see what it actually is. I'm gonna stop screen sharing and see what it currently says in my base as far as what it adds. What it adds when it says you go to portal level 2. But I guess that's minutia. So you guys can talk about whatever while I'm trying to figure this out. Or we could. Is there much left for us to talk about?
Nope, nothing else.
I don't think so. I mean, we covered all of that. We covered all the TLCs. We got bounty in. Did we miss anything else?
As far as the channel defenses, are you guys? I wish they give us what the exact rules are as far as placing them, because it's a little tricky, because I'm able to put them in spots where I don't think I'm supposed to, and then spots where it seems obvious that they should go in, they don't go in. It's
like what?
Like I've been able to place them across the front of my base with on the land side. It's too wide. And I have walls and turrets. Those tiles are completely filled, and I'm able to place it there.
Okay.
Is that? I don't know. I think I put a screenshot. Let me see. 1 second. I want to see what the upgrade. I'll show you where I. 1 second. Okay, upgrade. Okay. Okay. Well. Okay. Now it says armor installations. When I upgrade to level 2, armor installations and special installations increase from 0 to 1, as opposed to this tactical thing that we were seeing earlier. So I guess they changed their mind on that. Okay. But let me get back to where I was and screen share one more time before we get off. And I'll show you where I have mine. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's put that on another presentation. 1 second, real quickly. Okay, back to the pregnancy slide. And there we go. See where mine's building?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want one too more. I mean, you want one too far again.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're on play. Oh, no, never mind. I'm sorry. I was looking at the...
Okay.
Sorry. Never mind.
Yeah, see, I didn't have to move anything in order to get this to build here. Where I have a I have a turret on either side filled with walls and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. But yet in other places it seems to be I'm having a hard time placing it. But this, for some reason, this works. I didn't move any of these walls back like people said. I just plopped it down and it built.
Huh.
Yeah, at first, when you're first building it, it's like that. But then after that, you have to put it in an empty spot.
Yeah, okay. Well, when I try to move it up here, like one water tile this way, I can't build it there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why either. I mean, I don't know what the rules are as far as placing this, but yeah, at that point I was able to get it placed correctly. So.
Oh, I think they got the rules right. I think they just haven't got the mechanics in the game working right yet. That's probably more accurate of what's going on.
But they haven't really told us what the rules are, have they?
Yeah, I think they did when they had the release notes with it.
Okay. Well, anything else, or before I end the broadcast?
No.
No, I think we got everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I am going to. I will post a link in case anybody'd like to join us in the after show, and there we go. And everybody have a good week, and we will see you on Friday, if not before. So, Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.